It's more weed getting busted at the border. Border Patrol intercepts nearly $10 million at the U.S. Mexico border in Texas. A massive bust at the U.S. Mexico border in Laredo, Texas, was announced last Friday, and law enforcement agents presented the seizure with stacked bales of cannabis in a wall-like structure that was posted on X, formerly known as Twitter. Wonder how long we have to say formerly known as Twitter whenever we say the word X at this point. In a single swoop, U.S. Customs and Border Protection Office of Field Operations officers assigned to the World Trade Bridge seized over 2 tons of cannabis. Border agents searched a suspected freight truck and found it was loaded with 4,466 pounds of pot with a street value of nearly $10 million. Bust took place last Thursday, September 14th, at the World Trade Bridge in Laredo. CBP officer flagged a 2023 Freightliner tractor trailer that claimed to ship home goods for a secondary inspection. After a thorough examination using the Border Patrol's non-intrusive inspection system, CBP officers discovered 177 packages containing a total of 4,466 pounds of alleged cannabis within the trailer. Law enforcement agents say it has a street value of $9.9 million, outlined in a September 15th news release. Our CBP officers continue to maintain strict vigilance in our cargo environment, and this week they came up big with a seizure of more than 2 tons of marijuana, said Port Director Albert Flores, Laredo Port of Entry. We have not seen as much marijuana lately compared to the harder narcotics. It underscores the ever-changing nature of the drug threat our officers face on a daily basis, he added. CBP agents are primarily concerned with cannabis and drugs that are headed into the country instead of headed the other way. Photo shows the packages containing 4,466 pounds of cannabis seized by CBP officers at World Trade Bridge. CBP agents seized the cannabis, and Homeland Security Investigations special agents are currently investigating the seizure. CBP is the unified border agency within the Department of Homeland Security charged with comprehensive management, control, and protection of our nation's borders, combining customs, immigration, border security, and agricultural protection at and in between official ports of entry. CBP is one of the world's largest law enforcement organizations with the primary goal of keeping terrorists and their weapons out of the U.S., but also enforcing law of international travel and trade. Cannabis seizures along the U.S. Mexico border, which stretches nearly 2,000 miles, and there isn't a wall, Jason Beck, have actually fallen dramatically in recent years, aligning neatly with adult use cannabis laws in the West. Seizures fell from about 1,350 metric tons in 2013 to around 70 metric tons in 2022, according to CBP statistics. Now, the U.S. border is not the only borderline we need to worry about in 2023. In 2019, Border Patrol seized $100,000 worth of cannabis in upstate New York near Canada. Border Patrol agents and police officers seized approximately 50 pounds of cannabis in upstate New York in a 2019 traffic stop near the U.S.-Canadian border. Officials estimated the value of the pot at more than $100,000, according to a press release from the CPB. Up north, some people are doing it by accident. The Canada Border Services Agency released a press release on June 26th as a reminder for people traveling for the holidays that no cannabis is allowed to cross the border. A section entitled, I quote, "Cannabis, don't bring it in, don't bring it out, or don't take it out." It refers to the restrictions of cannabis being brought across the border. Bringing cannabis across the border in any form, including oils containing THC or CBD, without a permit or exemption authorized by Health Canada, is a serious criminal offense subject to arrest and prosecution, despite the legalization of cannabis in Canada. A medical prescription from a doctor does not count as Health Canada or authorization. So we got weed coming in from the north. We got weed coming in from the south. It's all boof weed. Who's buying this weed, right? I'm Todd Denkin with High at 9 News. See you guys.
Yeah, I'm with you, Todd. I'm still trying to figure it out because some of the pictures I seen, this looks like straight Bammer weed, like old school 80s weed, seed sticks and stems. And I'm just wondering where it was going. And
no, I don't know. It must be really cheap. Maybe they're making extracts or edibles or something like that. But I don't know who's smoking it.
they're turning it into distillate. They got to be, right? I mean,
Nah, distillate prices are down.
I mean, they're still distillate prices are still higher than Bammer weed prices, though.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, look, there's a global cannabis market and it's growing everywhere. And I mean, historically, where they've been growing it in Mexico a lot. So I mean, it makes sense. I mean, someone's gonna try to maneuver their weight, but it's like it's competing now with just this overgrown industry here. And I don't know. I mean, I think that we're just doomed to see this this commodity pricing in the future for everything except for like indoor super quality genetics that you see. And I think that's still going to be something that's going to continue. But like even the really good Humboldt weed, because there is good sun-grown weed. I'm not gonna front. Like there's good sun-grown weed. We all know that. We only joke around here. So shout out to all the Humboldt, Mendocino, and Trinity growers. Those guys have been doing great work. But that quality is even tarnished and diminished by all of this other overgrowth of just boof weed. So it's unfortunate, but this is just how economics works. This is like it's the market's cornered now, so it's we're gonna see more of this until they totally open it up, and then there's probably gonna be I'm sure an international cannabis brand coming out of Latin America that's growing the same quality that we're seeing coming across this border.
Oh man, I mean,
Yeah, my big question is who's buying this? Who wants to smoke this stuff? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, is it just being sold on the street, or are they making
I'm
shit
willing to
from
bet.
it?
Yeah, black market still exists, Todd.
I'm willing to
But
bet.
even in the black market, you can get pretty good weed.
I'm willing to bet,
You know what I
Todd.
mean?
I'm willing to bet, Todd, that this was all getting sent up to Canada. This was on its way to Canada. That's my guess. All the way to Canada, up to the
What are they
north.
doing it? What are they doing with it in Canada?
Well, the Canadian dollar is worth less than the U.S. dollar, and so therefore they should be buying lesser quality of weed.
Well, they already are because they're in Canada.
See, that's what I'm saying. See that you very good. You hit the nail on the head, Todd. I'm impressed.
Oh, there
right
you go.
there. I'm impressed. I just wonder how much other drugs actually got through if this is only what they caught, because it doesn't say that they caught that they caught anything else. They're just referencing the cannabis that was seized.
Yeah.
And generally they will pay people in weed like, hey, you get all this across the border, then this is your take. And so this is someone's take. So how big was the actual shipment that they didn't get?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? They say that Coke now is is on the rise and is the biggest item coming across the border.
I mean, it's possible. It is possible. I would say fentanyl is probably the biggest thing coming across the border, though, more than anything. But sad state of affairs.
It's very.
I think the
sad.
fentanyl's being made here, but it is pretty.
I mean,
it is coming across the border.
That's interesting. That's an interesting.
That is too. But actually, fentanyl actually is made in China and then shipped to Mexico and then smuggled across the border into the U.S. That's the actual track.
I don't know. Have you been to New Mexico?
Huh? Yeah, right. Yeah, right up to from Mexico to New Mexico. But I'm going to tell you what, this is a really great last story to end on today, you guys. I think you're going to love this. Gretchen, this one is for you, okay?